Contrary to popular belief, corona is not a hoax. The virus is real. Be responsible, wear a mask, wash your hands with soap and water, and avoid crowded places. Maintain physical distancing. Be responsible. Together, we can overcome the pandemic.
Hey, what's up, guys? You're welcome to another edition of Plus Event, and I remain your host, Ifeoluwa Oshuke.
Your absence isn't an excuse anymore, as Plus Events is all you need, as we bring you the glitz, the glamour, and loads of fun.
Oh, definitely. No question. He's a living legend.
Oh, God forbid, Holy Ghost fire, I know.
I just want to be blown away. I want to be wild.
This is 11 years of doing it.
I'm surrounded by so much positivity. No, it's okay.
Yo, what's up, my people? It's your boy Starboy Terry. You're watching
Plus Event on Plus TV.
Stay glued to PlusTvAfrica every Saturday and Sunday, 4:30 p.m. West African time.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on PlusTvAfrica.
The breakfast, officials of the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited said the country's continued inability to meet its output target had caused repeated plunge in oil earnings, leading to the monthly drop in the NNPC's remittance to the Federation account. Also on the breakfast, the Senate yesterday confirmed 7 nominees appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari as national commissioners and resident electoral commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. And as always, we'll take a look at the dailies this morning and have a guest join in making sense of all of the big stories. Welcome to The Breakfast on PlusTvAfrica. It's a beautiful morning and it feels really great to be back on your screen. It promises to be 2 hours of great conversation right here, and I hope that you enjoy every part of it. At some point, we'll also be looking at the issue of the quota, the inability of Nigeria to meet the quota by OPEC in terms of oil production will be, part of the conversation. But as always, we start off the conversation with our top trending. And just before then, I am Messi Ebokpo. Now, on Top Trending this morning, we will be looking at the fact that the Lagos State Governor has signed a bill to the establishment of 2 state-owned universities. We'll take a look at this report and be right back.
The Chairman Governing Council of the Lagos State Polytechnic, now to be known as Lagos State University. Elsewhere rector of Polytechnic, the elsewhere chairman of the College of Education, Ichaniki, now to be known as Lagos State College, Lagos State University of Education. Of this elsewhere College of Education as well, the chairman of the elsewhere Michael Otedola College of Education, now to be known as Lagos State University of Education, and also the elsewhere provost.
And of course, that's the Lagos State Governor Shongolu signing that bill and talking about the establishment of 2 more universities for the state. But the conversation would constantly continue as regards whether or not we should go ahead with the creation of conventional universities. Of course, we know the times that we're with right now. The conventional universities, some quarters would say that it has not contributed a lot to us. Why don't we look at vocational vocational institutions where you have people learn skills, there could be some technical college where people could actually learn a lot, craft. Because with the conventional university, the argument is that with the pressure, because you have to earn a degree necessarily, and a lot of persons are caught up with these, the fever of saying you have to earn a degree. And most times you find out that students go a long way to ensure that they just come up with a degree. So you find out a lot of persons who cheat themselves through the entire process and then they come out. Then you hear some people say, we have big graduates. But I'm thinking that it would be very important at this point in time. Yes, it's a good one in the right, it's a good step in the right direction. But one would think that the Lagos State government and every other government was saying that there was an attempt to kidnap. Now, whether or not that's the truth, because we saw videos making the rounds that generated a lot of conversation. The issue with security can never be overemphasized. Security is very necessary, important across the board. I remember as a student way back then, as a Malabarist, as you want to put, the issue of security was always very important. So you had times where some element would take advantage of the porosity, if you want to put, and then come into the school, premise. So I think that universities across institutions, top priority, be it federal institutions or state-owned institutions or private institutions, should pay attention to the issue of security. Security is very important, and without security, I'm not sure there's anything that we can actually achieve. So whether or not it's true, because at every point in time, a statement will have to be made. So we can't really ascertain what the issue was, whether there was really an issue of kidnapping. But across the entire federations, there's been a lot of complaint. You have protests going on, the issue of harassment, protests, demanding extortions. People complaining about, students complaining about being extorted, being harassed by different elements that are intruding. So it will be time that institutions, be it federal, private, state-owned institutions, pay attention to the issue of security, because it's very important, very important. And that's part of the top trending conversation this morning, generating a lot of conversations in different platforms. Well, that's the much that we can actually take on top trending. And when we return, we'll head straight to the papers this morning. We'll be looking at some of the top stories making the rounds, and we'll also have a guest join the conversation. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm not perfect.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating. and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on Plus TV Africa.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the barbing, I pay my rent. From the barbing, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
How can we have peace without justice?
Plus Politics. It's not just another political conversation, it's about keeping you in the know. The relevant interviews, asking the tough questions to those that matter. Get the answers you need. Does it mean that the people who were injured, people who were shot at, those who were involved in that stampede are not going to get justice?
It is unfortunate, it is sad that we have
If it's all trending in the entertainment industry, then we'll definitely be talking about it.
We bring you the funny, controversial, and hottest topics making waves in the entertainment scene worldwide.
We also interview all your favorite celebrities and keep you locked down with fun segments and live performances. Tea Time, showing every weekday at 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and of course the repeat at 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m.
Welcome to The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. Still on the top stories. Looking at the banner caption for the Punch newspaper this morning, Lai Aregbesola, Yari Kiyamo lose out, APC inaugurates state chairman. That's what you find as a bold caption. But the issue of having the national convention that was slated for the 26th of February, and railway consultancy services, killings, abductions, and demands fighter jets deployment. So, I mean, security experts have constantly questioned, the strategy that's been put out, by the federal government in tackling the issue of security. And the big question is, I mean, with the use of fighter jets, as brilliant as that sounds, does that solve the problem? Does that really solve the problem? what kind of war we faced with at this point in time. But of course, the issue of security is very sensitive, and you don't expect the government to come out to begin to tell you their strategies. Away from that, we're still looking at the Punch newspaper this morning. You also have federal government request $600 million World Bank loan to fight erosion, others in northern states. Now, that's also on the Punch newspaper. Ogun student protesting abduction and stone police van barricade highway. Now, the issue of security, just as we talked about, is also very, very paramount here. Now, Lagos court strikes out 226 million naira railway vandalism case over jurisdiction. And that will also be on the Punch newspaper this morning, while you have the Kwara local government Ketaket chairman arraigned for 5 million naira inherited debt. 9 killed in Ogun tanker explosion and other road crashes. This is according to reports that's been made available on the Punch newspaper this morning. Aviation Union vows to ground flights February 8 over minimum wage and others. I'm hoping that we have, a very robust conversation as regards the aviation sector. And just away from that, Commandant withdraws rep security details for proposing NSCDC's. I think we took all of that, but that's the much we can take this morning on the Punch newspaper. Away from the Punch newspaper this morning, quickly, let's also take a look at the Daily Independent. Buhari to Northeast, you will know peace in coming month. That's what the president is quoted to say. Buhari to Northeast, you will know peace in coming months. Boldly captioned this morning on the Daily Independent, and that's the statement from the president. You might just say that's some assurance. PDP will be fair, just in choice of presidential candidate. That's according to party. But the big people would say that that's not constitutionally recognized, and you want to agree with that, a gentleman's agreement. But would the People's Democratic Party factor the issue of zoning of, the office of the presidency to the southeast region? Fingers crossed, we'll see how things actually unfold. And still staying with the Daily Independent newspaper, let's also check out that writer this morning underneath that caption. And the writer reads, so you also have avoid zoning as criteria for leadership selection. That's what Lamido's quoted to say. I mean, it feels like we're just contradicting a lot. 2023 elections, Abdusalami Abubakar warns politicians against overheating polity. That's what you find this morning. Away from that, 2023 dying Ndigbo presidency is great injustice. That's what Edwin Clark has been very, very vocal against the issue of, as regards the issue of zoning and the presidency for the southern region. Federal government approves resumption of flights by Emirates into Nigeria. Ethiopian Airlines returned B737 MAX aircraft 35 months after crash. Some people would say that's a good one for the Nigerian economy. Ogun, Oyo to install CCTV on highways and raise border security task force. IPOP court finds Attorney General of the Federation 200,000 naira over shoddy trial of Kanu's co-defendant. All right. Senate asks federal government to bomb bandits out of their hideouts. Move to establish commission to cater for poor-aged Nigerians. Now, the Borno State governor, as regards all of this, has also come out to say that the repentant bandits have truly repented. And the big question that's been put out to him is, how do you know these persons have truly repented? What happens to the law? Why can the law take its course? Because over time, you have security experts and others arguing for the fact that the constant exemption, the constant body language has been given to these persons who perpetrate this crime has constantly emboldened and encouraged a lot of people to be engaged in, the issue of crime and criminality in the country, especially in the northern part of the country. But that's so much we can take this morning on the Daily Independent. We quickly move away from the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Let's also check out the Leadership newspaper. Quit race, Southern leaders tell Atiku Tambuwal and Sariki orders. Quits raise. Southern leaders tell Atiku Tambuwal Sarki orders. Reps, this is as regards, the declaration of interest to run for president. Northern youths came for Vice President Yomi Osibanjo, Tinubu, Amechi. I am not eyeing Vice President slot under Atiku. Wike is quoted. Atiku visits IBB in Mina. And you also have the ex-APC reps from New Bloc. CBN ratifies Ahmed Abdullahi's appointment as the FBH Hold Co-Chairman. And coup scares in Guinea-Bissau, whereabouts of president unknown. Well, because as of yesterday, the report on the table says that the president said he was actually safe. I mean, everything was in control. It was a coup that was attempted, but it failed. However, because you have security personnel who had everything in control. But different report, however. Fingers crossed. Let's see how all of this pan out for us. And just before we move away from the leadership newspaper this morning, reps cheered President Muhammadu Buhari over unapproved spending of nation savings. Very sad. Killings, Sultan seeks effective implementation of security policies. And you also have the United States launches no interview visa renewals for Nigerians. Some people will say that's a good one, but let's see how all of that pans out. And just before we have Ezekiel Nyai to share his thoughts, we quickly check out the Nation newspaper this morning. Take battle to bandits, orders Senate tells service chiefs. Constantly, we have heard of instructions from the president, and now we also have the Senate telling the service chief, take battles, to the bandits. But has that really solved the problem? Have we seen any improvement? Is the question you want to ask. Kidnapped suspect shot dead after short shootout with security operatives in Bini Auchi Road. I know, says Lamido Tambuwal, we need a competent on the breaks right now. And when we return, we would definitely continue with the conversation, and it would include the analysis of